Sophie returned to the ethereal summit on Snowflake, satisfied. Kathy was watering the spiritual herbs in the valley. She was relieved when she looked up and saw Sophie and Snowflake coming back. Sophie flew directly into her own cave. Upon returning, she took the 4 storage bags off her waist and poured a whole bunch of stuff out. All kinds of spirit stones, techniques, flying swords, and notes were piled up together. She and Snowflake robbed 4 passing-by cultivators from dawn till now, and they obtained 4 storage bags in total. Of course, the cultivators who came to her weren't so innocent themselves. They saw how young Sophie looked and thought she was of the chi refinement realm. They wanted to rob her because they thought she sneaked out with the spirit beast due to her master's absolute protection. But to their surprise, Sophie practiced her sword technique and robbed them instead. The smaller version, Snowflake, hopped up and down in excitement when it saw in the ground covered with shiny objects. Obviously, Snowflake fell in love with its new robbing career because of hearing what Noah said and experiencing it firsthand with Sophie. 106 low-tier spirit stones, 4 mid-tier spirit stones, 3 techniques, 2 flying swords, 6 notes, 3 bottles of elixirs. Sophie looked through her trophies as she mumbled. They don't even have top-tier spirit stones? Ugh, they are so poor. She didn't know how rare those spirit stones were on Fifth Heaven. Only a high-status cultivator could own top-tier spirit stones. Her cave wasn't big, and those things took up a lot of space. However, they were all her trophies, so she didn't want to throw them away. Sophie thought for a bit and said to herself, I'll ask Jacob to open up another cave for these treasures when he comes up to Fifth Heaven next time. She turned to Snowflake. What do you think, Snowflake? Snowflake barked and continued to nod as it wagged its tail. I'm not sure about these elixirs and techniques, though. I'll ask Noah to evaluate them when he comes here next time. She had it all planned. She and Snowflake would be the robbing gang that would rob evil people, and Noah would be the advisor. Jacob would be the gang leader, and Kathy, she could be the support worker for the time being. It had always been her dream to be a hero who had a strong sense of justice and was always ready to help the weak, kind of like Robin Hood. She wished to start a sect in the valley and take the mountain for her own. Fifth Heaven now seemed to be an excellent place for her. We should head back, Sophie, Kathy called as she stood in the valley. Okay, I'm coming. Sophie put everything in the corner and answered loudly. She flew out of the cave on Snowflake. Kathy looked at Sophie standing in the valley and shrugged. Snowflake carried the 2 of them out of Fifth Heaven. Jacob is not in Fifth Heaven, so you shouldn't mess around. He wouldn't be able to save you if something goes wrong. Kathy couldn't hold back anymore and said, I was just wandering around and didn't do anything bad. Plus, Snowflake is really strong now, and no one can catch us, Sophie answered. Kathy didn't pursue the topic any longer. Sitting in the front, Sophie frowned. She knew that Kathy was worried about her. She also knew that she would be scared in the valley last night if it weren't for Kathy. However, she didn't really want to talk about it right now. The 2 of them went back to First Heaven, and Kathy went to drop Sophie off at her home. Helen got up early and was in the kitchen when Sophie pressed the doorbell. She opened the door and asked, How come you didn't come back all night, Soph? Sophie didn't say anything because she didn't know how to explain herself. Kathy smiled and covered up. Soph came to my place to study last night, and I kept her in my dorm for the night because it was pretty late. So, where are your books? Helen looked down at Sophie's empty hands. Oh, they're in my dorm. I didn't let her bring them back because, she'll be coming to my place to study every day, Kathy added. I couldn't even reach you on your cell phone, Helen complained. But then she smiled at Kathy. Thank you so much, Kathy. You are tutoring Soph even though your finals are coming soon as well. Plus you dropped her off so early in the morning. Come in and have some breakfast. It's okay, Miss Richards. I need to head back soon, Kathy said politely. A meal won't take up much of your time. I'll drive you to college afterwards. Helen pulled Kathy into the room in full spirit. Sophie looked at Kathy, thinking of how Kathy covered for her, and how she needed her excuses to go cultivate on Fifth Heaven over the next few days, so she had to pretend that she was close with Kathy. Speaking of this, how come Jacob didn't tutor you, Soph? Helen asked. He's been a bit busy, so she's helping me, Sophie answered. Helen nodded slightly. She thought back to the big event that all dragon cultivators were closely paying attention to, and knew why Jacob was busy. It would be good for the North Atlantic Dragon Palace if Jacob could become an official inspector now. The influence of the Dragon God Shrine had been increasing during these years, since there were more and more 8th-level masters joining them. It had slowly become a strong power, and it would even rival the 4 ocean dragon palaces that had been accumulating power for ages. For example, the Dragon God Shrine played a role in the war between the North and South Atlantic. If Jacob could have a say in the Dragon God Shrine, it would offer the North Atlantic Dragon Clan more control. Even if Jacob couldn't become an inspector, it wouldn't hurt to have some practice. All the young dragon cultivators saw it as an honor to participate in the exams of the Dragon God Shrine, and it would be something to show off about if they could get a place in the top 200. That meant they were the top cultivators among the hundreds of young dragon cultivators. Commanding General was a powerful yet somewhat chill position. Jacob had nothing to worry about, as long as he didn't need to lead the army to fight a war. Jacob didn't have any military merits, and his strength had never been shown. Some elders were secretly against this appointment. But if Jacob could get a ranking in the Dragon God Shrine's exams, it would turn some of the opposing voices in the Dragon Palace down, as the Dragon God Shrine's third-party assessment was very convincing. Therefore, from this angle, Helen also wanted Jacob to attend the Dragon God Shrine's exams and get a good rank. While Kathy had breakfast with Sophie and Helen, Jacob suddenly sat up from Susan's couch. He didn't wake up naturally. Instead, he woke up because he was starving. He had a couple slices of pizza last night and a simple snack afterward. How could he handle a whole night without food? Especially after Susan beat him up badly in the field. Jacob realized it was 7 o'clock in the morning, so he turned on the TV and the morning news was playing. Last night, around midnight, unidentified individuals invaded the Fester Stadium and damaged some equipment in the field. We are further investigating this case. The news popped up on the TV. Jacob looked at Susan's closed bedroom door, thinking, my parents would kill me if they found out that I was related to this vandalization. Susan's bedroom was still quiet, and it seemed like she wasn't going to wake up anytime soon. Jacob turned off the TV and put on his shoes. Then he opened the door to the apartment and rang the bell of the opposite apartment. After a few rings, the door opened. Liam appeared in front of Jacob in his pajamas. Prince Jacob, Commanding General, Liam bowed. He looked down at Jacob's slippers and ragged clothes. Then he looked at Susan's open door behind Jacob. That must have been one deadly battle, he thought, knowing Susan very well. Jacob raised his hand. Do you, have anything I could wear? Please, come in, General. Liam stepped 2 steps back. Jacob was only the prince consort before, without a definite title. Now that he was the commanding general, who could command close to 1 million soldiers, Jacob's official ranking was even higher than Liam's. Please, call me anything but General. Jacob entered Liam's room. Just give me some simple clothes. Okay. Liam went back into his bedroom and walked out quickly with 5 to 6 suits. Jacob remembered that Liam usually wore suits, so most of his clothes at home were suits. Is there anything that's not so formal? Jacob shook his head, embarrassed. Please wait a moment. Liam went back into his bedroom. A few seconds later, he brought a Hawaiian t-shirt and shorts out of the bedroom. Jacob didn't know what to say. Jade and Julia just got these for me as they wanted me to take them to the beach during the summer vacation. This is the only thing that is not a suit here, Liam shrugged. It's time for morning practice now, Jacob. Susan appeared at Liam's door, dressed up for the day. She had a short bat in her hand.